Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to COASTER-net Updates. We've got some breaking news out of Cedar Fair tonight, where the CP Food Blog has revealed an interesting concept possibly happening at Knott's Berry Farm in regards to season passes. The CP Food Blog is reporting that people have said out there, or have been told by Knott's, that come August, the season passes are changing, and they will now be valid for 12 months from the time that you buy it. Now, this is different, Dwayne, than all the Cedar Fair passes being valid the day that you or from the beginning of the season. So traditionally, when you buy a season pass, you buy it for the opening in May, and it goes all the way through to the end of the year. You buy it any time in that year, it expires at the conclusion of the year that you purchase is in. So this would be a difference in that. So let's say you buy the Knott's Pass in August, it would be good all the way to the next August. Now, Dwayne, I actually really like this idea, and I hope that they expand it to the other Cedar Fair parks. What are some of your thoughts here on them possibly changing the pass system?
Well, this will be perfect for someone like me. For example, I'm, a good distance away from any Cedar Fair park. I mean, Kings Island is the closest one at 3 hours. It takes me 4 hours or so, a little less than that to get to Cedar Point. And so, it wouldn't be, conceivable for me to go every single week or twice a week or 3 times a week. So if I didn't want to go until, say, August, and I wanted to, start then, and then I could go, maybe once or twice in August. I could then go to Winterfest in Kings Island. I could go to Cedar Point maybe one time. Then maybe I could, wait until opening day next year. And I would already have that. I wouldn't have to waste money on just a couple days getting one this year and have to do the exact same thing next year if I wanted to go see a brand new ride or a brand new coaster that opened up. So that would be very beneficial to someone like myself who isn't that close to an actual park. And I've always said that that would make more sense. And you've got the memberships that all these other parks are going to. And, I almost wish they would go to that, to where you could pay by month or whatever. If you're going to go 3 or 4 times this month, it would be much simpler for me to pay for that month than pay for the whole time. I mean, again, I know the parks might be losing money that way, and we could get into a tiff and taff with that. But I would much rather this be happening. If Knott's is going to do it, are they a pilot program? Are they going to see how this works for a park? Now, granted, it's not one of the bigger parks, but are they trying this out and then maybe seeing what it's going to be like for the remainder of the Cedar Fair chain parks?
Well, Knott's, it makes sense for Knott's, because Knott's, you have the 12 months, operating schedule. So, it never really made sense of if you bought your pass in like January, is it good till next year? If I buy it in May, why is it only good till the end of the year? So at Knott's, it makes a lot of sense, because they have the 12-month operating schedule. They're in a market competing with, Six Flags Magic Mountain, who just rolled out the different membership tiers that you can buy per month up there. You have the Disney annual passes that are kind of set up where whenever you buy, it's not for the season, it's for 12 months. So they're in a market that's very competitive and is already set up according to those. And I'm sure that raises a lot of questions when people buy a pass. They're like, well, why doesn't it last for 12 months? If I'm buying it in July, why do I only get 6 months, whereas this guy gets 12 months? But I think with the extension of a lot of the Cedar Fair operating calendars, that it's beginning to make sense for other places too. You saw Kings Island add in, Winterfest. We've seen, well, even years ago when they first added in Haunt, that extended the season into September and October. And now when you add in Winterfest, you're extending it partially into the later months and the beginning of January. So I kind of get the sense that there might have been some confusion with the Kings Island passes last year with Winterfest, because half of it occurred in December and half of it occurred, or at least part of it occurred, in January. And people were like, well, is my pass still going to work in January? And I forgot what the actual answer was. Did they say that your pass would work in January, even if you didn't? I don't remember what that answer was.
I don't either.
So that raises questions. Whereas now, if you went to a system that was based per month, and if I bought in January, well, your pass is good to the day you bought it last year. It's very clear. There's not a whole lot of confusion there. I personally hate renewing my pass and hate having to go on during a sale and typing in my number and doing all of that stuff. I would much rather it just auto renew. And I know you can set that up for your Platinum Pass now, where it just automatically renews at a certain time. But like you said, I would much rather have that split over 12 months too, and not have to drop 180 plus another 100 for my dining plan, plus another 30 for my drink plan. Like, you're talking about, a couple of $100 here,
Oh, yeah.
$300 with taxes and everything that you have to drop all at once. And I feel for the people that have to do that for more than one person in their family. That, if I'm buying it and I'm buying it for my wife, and then if I have kids, you got to drop all that money all at once. And I know they have a 6-month payment plan, but they charge you for that too.
Correct.
There's an upcharge on that for doing the payment plan. So I would much rather see them go to memberships. And I'll say this, even though the Cedar Fair Platinum Passes are already at 180, I would pay $20 a month to get extra perks at the parks. Higher percentage off on merchandise, maybe like Six Flags. I really like the idea that the top tiers, you get a couple of fast lane passes every time you go. I think those types of things, those types of perks would be beneficial. And I also love the fact that Six Flags, and I didn't believe them when they said this, but when Six Flags rolled out those different membership levels, they're like, oh yeah, we're going to give you exclusive opportunities for stuff. I'm like, they always say that.
Yeah.
But they actually did. On all the openings this year, the membership people got, a weekend where they could go try out the rides before everyone else. And I would love to see Cedar Fair do something like that too. So I really like this idea of not only a 12-month pass, but as opposed to a yearly pass, but also if they could find a way to make it into a monthly payment, I think that would be fantastic.
Yeah, and it would make so much sense for those people who just aren't going to go all the time. I get granted there's people that are going to go, once, twice, 3 times a week who live close, and that's fine. But, you could really attribute this to more people, distribute it to more of us who could, who like going, but it's just a little bit out of our way, and it would be much more beneficial to us that way.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll see if they roll this out. It makes sense with all the people that Knott's gets that they would do this at Knott's first.
Right.
Because Knott's has a lot of people walking through there with the Disney and the California market. So it makes sense that they'll try it there first to see. And I don't see why it wouldn't work. It's just a computer system change.
Right. Yeah,
it's not like it's brain surgery. But
it wouldn't be a big change, you wouldn't think.
But hey, we still got steel coasters that can't run 3 trains yet. So. So anyway, thank you for joining us here on COASTER-net Update. We'll keep you updated on all the goings on of the amusement park industry this season of 2018 and looking towards 2019. So as always, I am Andy Barchak from Chicago, Illinois.
And I'm Dwayne Sponseller from Parkersburg, West Virginia. And may the Q lines be ever in your favor.
Right on, Ride Warriors.